Here's one that I definitely want to talk about. Andre the Giant. We was talking about Stephanie had this interview on ESPN with Triple H. I think it was Stephen A. Smith or Stephen A. Where's your follicles snitch?
Stephen A.
He might. I mean, he would look. In all seriousness, this ain't about Stephen A. But in all seriousness, he would look better if he would just shave it bald. On the serious tip, that receding hairline is not a good look. He would just do better just to go ahead and shave it bald.
I don't know if I could buy him being bald. I mean, some people can pull off the whole bald thing. I don't know about Stephen A. Snitch.
Yeah, but that receding hairline don't look good.
It don't. I mean, it's part of his signature look, though.
Yeah, Mr. Snuffleupagus. Anyway, they brought up who is the most greatest WWE superstar of all time, or something along those lines that had crossover appeal. Stephanie, and I didn't see the interview. I only going by what people told me, particularly my guest here, Prince GMO. Stephanie said Andre the Giant. Now Triple H did recover it and said The Undertaker. Which you can make an argument for. Now, here's my thing. Before I go into what I'm going to say about Andre the Giant. Because I actually grew up. I saw him in the latter part of his career. Because I grew up an 80s kid. I saw him in the latter part of his career. Andre the Giant was WWE's first crossover star. He was known both in wrestling circles and in the mainstream. He did open the door for Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Austin, Rock, all these wrestlers that tried to or have made crossover. But to say he's the biggest star that made crossover, I think Stephanie McMahon is going on some bias. Because as a child, when Vince would bring her and Shane, or the wrestlers would come to the McMahon's house, one of the frequent visitors or one of the people that used to see him was Andre. And Andre, according to them, used to, when he'd be with Vince, he would, be kind to the kids, play with the kids, particularly Stephanie. And Stephanie has a lot of fond memories of Andre. And I'm sure she was devastated in 1993 when Andre passed away. So I'm thinking she's a bit more biased by her past with Andre. She's going to be biased towards, because she still talks about those childhood memories with Andre Rusinov, better known as Andre the Giant. She still talks about those memories. But to say he's the greatest overall, is he a legend in WWE and in wrestling? Absolutely. But the greatest as far as a crossover appeal? Ooh, and for those that are listening to this, y'all know Hulk Hogan can kiss my behind after I've taken a dump, okay? But even I'll admit, Hogan would have a better argument. The Rock, for sure, would have a better argument. I think he's above Hogan, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Even Piper would have somewhat of... Oh, yeah, you did say Ric Flair. Yeah, explain that one, man.
Well, basically, they asked her in trips, they said, well, all this stuff going on with Mania season coming around, who would you say is, the biggest star with the biggest crossover appeal that you've ever had? Steph jumps up and says Andre. And I was really like, huh? Are you kidding me? But then Triple H, he came in and he saved the interview, because I was about to cut that thing off after she said that. Because we know why she said that. She's being corporate. The Andre the Giant documentary's coming out on Showtime after Mania. That's why she said it 9 times out of 10, to promote the Andre the Giant thing. And it's like, look, girl, you could have just mentioned him. And then, admittedly so. I mean, maybe she didn't want to say The Rock, because we already know Trips and Rock got beef towards certain degree. So she said The Rock, the Triple H probably looked at her like, why you say that? He probably would have pulled an Ike on her. I don't know, but man, just to sit up there and say Andre the Giant is the biggest star you've ever had, I'm like, no. Now Trish brought up The Undertaker. I'm like, okay, that's believable. Because he talked about internationally around the world, everyone knows who Taker is. Everybody. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Everybody knows who he is, definitely. Without question. Everybody knows who Andre is, but I just, like you said, you grew up in the 80s, I grew up in the 90s. The only memory that most of us who grew up in the 90s and 2000s have is of Hulk Hogan beating the dog crap out of Andre at Mania 3.
No.
That's the only image we have. We got the Irresistible Force versus the unmovable object. We see Hogan slam him, put that leg on him, and that's it. You know?
And let me defend Andre a little bit on that. If you've ever watched the actual match, now is it a 5-star classic? No. I'll be the first one to tell you. But for most of that match, Andre was beating the crap. You can argue, as far as Hogan's WrestleMania matches, that may have been other than maybe the Vince McMahon street fight, that may have been the worst butt whooping he ever took at WrestleMania. That might be the worst butt whooping he ever took, because Andre was beating his behind. The match lasted about 15 minutes. That was probably the worst whooping he ever took in any of the matches he had at WrestleMania. So, but then again, I can see where Prince is coming from, because the only image they ever show is him body slamming him and leg drop. They don't tell you that Andre actually was beating the crap out of Hogan for most of that match.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's almost like with remember when Lesnar got beat by that one dude in UFC?
Uh-huh.
And Lesnar was dominating him the entire fight, but they don't show that. They just show the ending where dude just got lucky and put that leg lock on.
Yeah. Oh, Frank Mir. You're talking about Frank Mir. Yeah. I actually watched that match. One day I found a video of it. I said, well, I'm going to look at it. I'm like, Frank Mir should never brag about that match, because he got lucky. He got lucky that Brock left himself open for a submission hold, because honestly, Brock was killing him.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting destroyed. I mean, so
Frank Mir walked in that ring and he gave the Fast and the Furious speech. It don't matter if you win by inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
Yeah, but some wins you should not brag about.
Agreed.
This would have been me. If I'd have got that, if I'd have been Frank Mir, I'd be like, you know, he left himself open and I took advantage. You know, that's the way it goes. And I would have probably left it at something like that.
But then he decided to run around the internet bragging about how he whooped Lesnar. How much money did he get paid for that? It wasn't really a rematch. Because, I mean, how do you psych yourself up to fight someone who basically damn near killed you the first time?
And then the second time, it was even worse.
Yeah, he basically did kill him. He killed him without stopping his bodily functions. I was like, man. Like, you ever seen someone get whooped so bad? You don't like them, but you feel bad for them?
Yeah. Yeah, now.
You're looking like, can someone throw in the towel for this man?
Yeah, but.
Lesnar turned that face into hamburger meat, man.
Yeah,
and then when he ran up on him after the fight and dared him to say something, that man was quiet the entire time. He didn't say a word. Hey man, you okay? I'm scared to talk as Lesnar there. He didn't say a word. Lesnar was going to throw everybody and beat him up again. It was like, man, that was like a schoolyard bully. I don't even know, how do you describe that the domination and destruction of Frank Mir? Like that was scary, man.
Yeah, but I would tell Frank Mir, I'd be like, well, don't feel bad. At least you wasn't John Cena.
Yeah, I mean, you try to imagine, you know, when you be watching Bruce Lee films and we like, you know, Bruce Lee walk in, we can fight 1 at a time or 10 at a time. Man, we going 10 at a time. We ain't gonna do that one-on-one stuff. You know, you frame in your head how how you would at least try to handle that situation.
Yeah. Actually, the actual English translated quote was, "We can fight one at a time, or all together." Now, you got a man walking up in there, there's like 30 or 40 of you, and he's talking about we can fight one at a time or all together. And I'm paraphrasing Eddie Griffin, no relation, by the way, at least as far as I know. He said he's either got a bomb strapped to his behind, or he's one bad bofo. Neither one of them are good.
I mean, it's Bruce Lee, by the way. I mean, but I'm not going one-on-one with Bruce Lee. I'm just saying. I mean, if Bruce Lee walk in, a room with me and Unc up in there, we're both either going to break off running, or we're going to try to jump this dude.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to go in one at a time. We're going to try to rope warrior his behind.
Yeah, we're going to pull it for a horseman on him. We have to call the goons on him. But it ain't going to make no difference, but this whole, we going to try to jump him.
Yeah, and don't give him no inch, nothing. Because if you give him one little open, even if it's a small opening, woo, oh, you're done. You're done. And protect all your body parts. You know how I always be talking about up against this guy. Just hit him in the nuts. Oh no, Bruce was not above that at all. Protect. Yeah, he was not. Because how many people in his movies did he low blow?
Here's the thing. Bruce Lee has whooped dudes basically 3 times his size. And he don't just whoop them. He kills them. Remember when he jumped on that dude's neck and snapped it?
Yep.
I don't want
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, I don't want them problems. I'm just saying. Now, we get in the car and we are driving fast. We are getting pulled over by the police and begging them to not shoot us and save us from this crazy Chinese man. That is what we are doing if we ever run into Bruce Lee. I don't want them problems.
Yep.
But like I said, you can frame in your head at least what to do if you're in that situation with Bruce Lee. The way Lesnar did Mir, I don't know what I would do in that situation.
Oh yeah.
You can't outrun him because he's fast as a damn gazelle. And the way he had Mir pinned down like that, the dude couldn't move at all. He basically suffocated him. And it was like, say something now. Bow, hit him in the face. Mir is so dizzy, he can barely see. Say something again. Like, he's not saying anything wrong. He's barely conscious. Say something again. He just starts unloading on the dude. He basically breaks the man's face, shatters his face, and still talking to him. And the referee's like, Bart, I don't think he's moving. He just hit him. Say something again. I'm like, man, someone throwing a towel for this man. He about to kill this man. And then when
in other words, it was a throw the towel. From the late actor that played Duke in the Rocky movie, Rocky 4.
It was like that. It was like when Apollo Creed got killed, but worse. Because
Apollo Creed, he went down on his shield. He was on his feet when it went down. Frank Mir couldn't even move, man. Brock beat him that bad. The man couldn't even move. You're like, bruh, Brock, it's over, man. And then after the fight, he wants to fight him again. I'm like, dude, the man he can't even walk right now. He's barely standing.
Yeah, but we kind of got off of Andre, but the point we was making by talking about Lesnar and Beer was that's about how bad Andre was whooping Hogan. I know it's fake and all that or scripted,
right, yeah.
But still, Andre was dominating it for most of that match. Huh?
Yeah, and then Hogan just got that one slam on him, and then he dropped the leg on him. I mean, that's the believability factor. It's like he was getting dominated. All he did was slam him one time, and of course they saw this is the first time Andre's ever been lifted.
Yeah, and that was actually bold on not Stephanie, Andre's part, because Andre actually had back problems. going into the match, and he shouldn't have even worked the match, but he did. Because if you look close under his tights, you can see a big back brace sticking out that he was wearing in that match. If you look close, you can see. Oh, another thing you can see. Hulk Hogan suffered a legitimate injury in that match too.
Yeah.
People didn't know about it till afterwards. Because what happened was, when he slammed Andre the Giant, after, the excitement, the adrenaline wore off, he found out he tore some back tissue. Slamming Andre.
As big as Andre is, that's very believable. Like, Hogan was always a big guy. He could lift a lot, but I mean, Batista bench press. I mean, we see how big Batista is compared to Hogan. Batista bench presses 500 pounds. I don't think Hogan was bench pressing 500 pounds. And that's how much they had Andre build at Wayne. He probably weighed more than that.
He was played 525 pounds.
That's a lot to lift.
Even with help from Andre, because you can see clearly Andre was helping him. But even with help from Andre, they say he tore like his lat or something in his back.
Also live with them legs.
It was all upper body he was using. Yeah, that's what I said. He should have lifted with them legs, take the pressure off.
Because I was looking at it, I'm like, man, when I'm in the weight room and I'm on that leg press machine, I could press like a good close to 300 with one leg. So I'm like, all right, well, Dre, I'm like, I may be able to hold him up for a second on these legs, but upper body, no. There's no way.
The most I can bench press, when I'm like repping out, the most I've ever been able to get is about 315, 320.
Oh yeah, I'm nowhere near that. I'm a little over 200 with mine.
Yeah, leg press I can do. Leg press I can do like 400 or 500, no problem.
Right. I mean, those are different avenues. I mean, me, hooping and playing basketball. Yeah, of course, I'm gonna have better legs. You're more into the upper bodybuilding thing. So yeah, but to try to lift Andre with your upper body, it's a suicide mission, basically.
Yeah. So Hogan tearing the muscle in his back. Yeah, I agree. That's totally believable.
Definitely. But I mean, you talk about Andre and how, he passed away in the early 90s. I think I was like 5 years old when he passed away.
Yeah.
And a lot of OGs, they brought up Andre. But when the Big Show came out, when he was the Giant, the Dungeon of Doom, that I like to speak very fondly of with the Taskmaster and them. Just how athletic Big Show was. You have this big man, over 7 feet tall, 500 pounds, doing hurricane ranas and drop kicks in his prime, and you're just like, whoa. And people bring up how big Andre was, but it's almost like he was the great Khali with a little bit of skill. Just an extremely large body, huge guy. Like, if the great Khali remember when the great Khali first came in and he was this heel, this dominant, extremely big dude? Khali he couldn't move like Andre. I'll say that. Khali was as stiff as a board, but
yeah,
Andre was kind of savage the way he would get around that ring. He was deceptively quick for his size.
Yeah. Speaking of the Big Show, get this. There was rumor that in his younger years, he could actually execute, because he actually used to come off the top rope with stuff. There was rumor that he could actually execute a moonsault.
He probably could.
And that in one of his matches with Kevin Nash, he actually wanted to do that spot, but Nash refused to take the bump.
No. 500 pounds coming down on you? No.
You imagine how much of a pop if that is true. You imagine how much of a pop the crowd would have got.
I'll tell him this. Like, Big Show come up to me in the back, hey man, I want to pull off that moonsault. Oh, you can pull that off. I'm not gonna be there. I'm rolling out the ring. No.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, that's what would have been me too. I'd have been like, oh, we could do that spot, but I'm not laying there. There will be nobody at home.
Big Show be in the back singing that song for the Lion King. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Because nobody takes some of his big moves.
Because, I mean, I remember how people used to pop when Vader used to do the moonsault.
Yeah, but Vader, how big was Vader? Was he 500 pounds like the
No, he was like 450.
Like 300-400, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, he's like 450, and even that's a load.
No, if you are over 350 pounds, you are not jumping on my behind. 350 is the maximum. Once it gets over that point, yeah, you gotta find someone else. This is why tag team was invented. Where's the huge Big E Langston dude on my squad? He could take that bump. I'm not taking that bump. If you're 120 plus pounds heavier than me, I'm not taking it.
I remember one time in a match where against
I'm gonna punch him in the balls and get disqualified on purpose.
I remember one time in a match with the late Macho Man Randy Savage, the Big Show, when he was the Giant in WCW. He actually tried to splash Macho Man. He actually went to the top rope, jumped off. Macho got out of the way in a hurry.
Like I said, Big Show that's the story of his career. Nobody knows my song.
And then Macho took advantage. Macho took advantage of it, came up the top rope with the elbow, and still didn't get no pin. That would be aggravating to me.
But that's the thing with a lot of huge guys. They have a lot of this athleticism, but because of their size, no one wants to take bumps from these huge guys. And rightfully so. I'm not taking that bump from a dude that big.
Yeah, imagine the Big Show coming up the top rope with the Eddie Guerrero frog splash.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
I mean, a splash is one thing. You know, it's easier, for them to kind of. I mean, it can still go wrong, but it's a splash.
Yeah, if it's like the Superfly style splash, you could probably handle that.
Yeah, they put the knees out and everything. Yeah, but it's just kind of I'm not taking that risk, man. That's still 500 pounds falling on you. You know it's fake, man. 500 pounds.
Yeah, check your drawers afterwards. You may have a little mess down there.
How much do I get paid to take a splash from the Big Show? Like, how much money would they have to pay you to take a splash?
Oh, here we go with the money again. Although in this case, it's probably justified.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get me a good check. We need you to show some of your athleticism, Big Show. How much money would they have to pay you to take a moonsault from the Big Show, huh? Obviously, he's gonna do his best to protect you, but it's still 500 damn pounds coming down on you from a good. Trying to think, how high is that?
Like, let's say I was getting paid $500 a match. If they said, "Hey, you gotta take the thing for the Big Show," I'd be like, "Look, if I'm gonna take that bump from him, no, I want $1,000 for this match. You go back to my regular rate of $500 a match after that. But for this match, if I'm gonna take that spot, do that spot, you paying me $1,000 tonight." And
I'm gonna hit that Missy Elliott on him from Ladies Night. And she said, "You ain't just gonna use me to be singing hooks. When I look like Patti LaBelle, I'm like, you ain't gonna just use me to be taking bumps. What I look like? Dolph Ziggler or something?"
Yeah, or Jeff Hardy. I don't even think Jeff Hardy would be crazy enough to take that one.
Nah, see, Hardy's not a catcher. He's a pitcher when it comes to it. He'll take bumps if he's the one initiating the bump. If he's the one jumping off and stuff, that's one thing. But you've never seen, a boss jump off anything onto Jeff Hardy. You never seen.
I don't even think Mick Foley would have been crazy enough to take that one.
Has has anyone jumped off anything? We've seen Hardy dive off stuff on top of people, but I can't recall anyone ever doing an off the top rope move on Jeff except maybe Adrian Christian. Maybe Van Dam, but it's Rob Van Dam, That's interesting, but I mean to go back to Andre the Giant. For a lot of us, younger folk, there's the Andre the Giant, documentary. I'm definitely gonna take a look at it, of course, But it's just kind of like to sit up here and say he was the biggest star you ever produced. It's blasphemy to me. I would debate if I had to know who's the number one biggest star who crosses over everywhere. Ric Flair. I'd pick Ric Flair. Ric Flair or maybe The Rock, but I'd say Ric Flair more so.
Yeah, you can make that argument.
You see the NFL teams, the NBA teams, everyone knows the Ric Flair strut. People still quote him, the limousine riding, jet flying, the style and culture that the Horsemen introduced. You see a lot of people who do it now. You got rappers calling out Ric Flair in songs. They can call him out in songs, but now it's really gone mainstream. Because Pusha T been shouting out Ric Flair forever. A lot of people have. Forever, for years and years. But now it's becoming a bit more commercialized where people are starting to see, oh, okay, and then you had, dude 21 Savage with the Ric Flair drip video where he actually had Ric Flair in the video. Flair crosses over in a lot of different ways. With The Rock, it's film, and even music to a degree. He had that song with Wyclef. I gotta go with The Rock and Flair. And if we had to pick a female, maybe Mickie James, who has that song with the Yang Yang Twins now, which is what in the world? What in the world is going on with that? The Yang Yang Twins.
Yeah. The Mickie James thing that I put in one of my videos. To talk about ye have the mighty have fallen.
If we had to pick a female talent, maybe Mickie James for people who are in the country music. They probably heard of her, but it's like besides her, it's like
what other female star would you say is the biggest female star who's crossed over? Sasha is slowly doing that at this point of her career.
Yeah.
You see her on Conan O'Brien.
Now,
you see people who don't even watch it.
I would have to say probably Trish.
China, maybe.
Trish, maybe China.
Trish and China. Trish, China, and as of now, the Bellas. You can
the Bellas, the Bellas.
You can throw in there.
The Bellas and Sasha is slowly getting there, and so is Charlotte.
Slowly getting there, yeah.
So is Charlotte because Charlotte has made a few mainstream appearances too.
But biggest male talent, I gotta go with Flair. Flair or Rocky? How I get you gotta promote the documentary, but how you say Andre is a bigger star than Randy Savage was?
Yeah, like I said, Andre opened the door because he was in some mainstream stuff and people knew who he was. Andre opened
Jesse Ventura.
Oh yeah, you can make that argument with him too.
Crossing into politics and everything. You got Kane doing that now. So it just kind of felt like, how do you say Andre the Giant is the biggest star you had? I get it. You want to put some respect on his name, and you also got to promote, the product. But like I said, you could mention him, but to say flat out he's a bigger star than The Rock, huh? Bigger star than Flair? What? Oh, speaking of what, bigger star than Stone Cold Steve Austin? What?
I'll tell you who else.
Jericho, who went into rock and roll successfully, mind you.
Oh, I'll tell you what. You could make that argument about Roddy Piper.
Who don't even watch the product know who he is, and OG still shout out. They shout out Jimmy Superfly Snuka coming off that cage, where they shout out Andre.
Yep. And as far as Rowdy Piper goes, heck, they live is better than anything Hogan or, although Andre did have a good performance in The Princess Bride. But as far as Hogan goes, like I said, Hogan bigger than Andre, but I'll say this, They Live is better than anything Hogan ever did.
I mean, I get why she did it, but I just felt it was very disingenuous to say that. You know, it's like, even the ESPN analysts probably scratched their heads like, why would she say him over Flair? You know, NFL teams copy Flair before or after they win, they do the strut. People still carry the NWA championship. That's the belt that everybody wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one. Did Andre hold that? No, Flair did. I think it was blasphemy. I think it was disingenuous for her to say that. And Triple H, rightfully, thank you for saving it. The man saved the world by saying Taker. Because I'm like, how did people don't talk about Andre like that? How many times have we even had a conversation about Andre the Giant in all the years we've known each other, huh? Very few. We've spoken of other legends multiple times, but rarely do we talk about Andre.
Yep. And Andre, like I said, I saw more of his career than you did. And if all you know is that scene where he gets slammed by Hulk Hogan, there's a lot more to Andre's career than that. Oh, way more. But at the same time, like I said, he was the first crossover for the WWE. He was the first. But the greatest, that's debatable.
I don't even think it's personally a conversation. You know, I mean, like you said, he may have been the first crossover star. They asked who was the best and biggest one. I'm like, how in the world did this woman just say Andre? How?
You know, even Cena. Just saying. And I don't even like Cena, but come on.
Oh, but they benefit from the era they're in. I don't know about that. Because back then, people thought that, you know, pro wrestling was legit. Mm-hmm. So how was it they weren't benefited from it back then, and nowadays everybody know it's scripted, and we see, I'm just saying, you know, so the whole era argument, I don't know about that, you know. People actually respected it back then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's for a lot of sports purists, it's a mockery nowadays, you know.
Oh, what else I was going? But yeah, on Andre, like I said, he's definitely a legend. He's their first Hall of Famer, and he's definitely their first crossover star. The biggest, the greatest star they ever had, that's definitely a debate. Hogan, to me, has a better argument. Austin certainly has a better argument. Rock has a better argument. And you can name several that could have better arguments. Jesse Ventura, like you said, could have a better argument.
Well, speaking of Hogan, there's been talk of Hulk Hogan possibly returning, whether he's a SmackDown GM or he's going to pop up at Mania. And we've spoken about it off West, basically saying that maybe now is not the time for that.
No.
He just kind of sort of got in hot water because of the whole Fabulous Moolah stuff.
Yeah, because WWE just got out of that controversy, and now they may be looking at another one with Hogan. I'm like, no, now's not the time to bring him back. I mean, let me say this as a black man. Hulk Hogan, the person behind Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea, can still kiss my rear end. I gave him double birds and everything. The character of Hulk Hogan, the significance his character had for WWE, you can't deny that. Eventually, he's going to be coming back, whether people like it or not. Eventually. But in this era of social media, 3 years is not long enough to forget about that footage. About him saying the N-word, about getting caught basically butcher-dicky, getting it on with Bubba the Love Sponge's then wife. But then again, which, by the way, on a side note, my dislike for Hulk Hogan aside, my dislike for Terry Bollea aside, that was messed up, what Bubba did. Now, we talked about this off camera. The swinger swap lifestyle, there's people that do it all the time, and they're usually the people you wouldn't think of. They're usually well off, got money, middle to upper class. I mean, there's people that do it all the time. In fact, some of the coolest people I ever met were people in the lifestyle of swinger swap. They were some of the coolest people I ever met. But that all being said, one thing they rarely do, they don't usually tape what they do unless they got permission from everybody involved. They don't usually tape what they do. They like to keep their stuff in the down low. Now, you know, if Hulk Hogan was in the swinger swap, if Bubba Love Sponge said, hey, my wife wants to give you some booty, hey, that's their business. Yeah, but you don't take the man doing his business with your then wife and then put it out somewhere without his permission or without him even knowing about it. I mean, I'll admit, even though I don't like Hulk Hogan, that was messed up.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm glad he did because we could see the true colors of the man, but as a person to person, you betrayed the trust of your mans. And not just that, you put your wife out there like that, man. Or his ex-wife, but still, you know, someone you had a very deep relationship with. I don't know what she did to that man, because him putting it out there probably didn't have a lot to do with Hogan. Of course, he probably wanted to get some money off of it, but still, to leak a tape like that, it's just like, man, you know, where's the bro code? Where's the brotherhood on that? You know, it's just like, man, because it's deeper than just some people trying to get their rocks off. When you get your rocks off with someone, you know, I get, you know, we got people who are probably younger than me, myself, and but it's just kind of sort of like, when you're young, you don't really care. You're just out there. You're in hyper mode, you know. You're hulked up. You just want to take on the entire world, if you get what I'm saying. But as you get older, you start getting more selective about who you share your body with, because not everybody has your best interest at heart, you know. So for this man Hogan to lay down with this woman at this time, you know, of course they were having fun, but what bothered me about it was you just had your little fun and everything, and you're thinking about your daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, that is creepy though.
Yeah, like you know.
Just like recently, those two women, Stormy Daniels and that other chick, said before he was President Trump, when President Trump was having sex with them, he would tell them, "Oh, you remind me of my daughter." That is creepy.
Mm-hmm.
That is creepy.
Which father do you think has the bigger headache? Taylor Swift's father or Miley Cyrus's father?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because Miley she's at least out there about her stuff.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to run around guessing what she's doing. Taylor Swift, on the other hand, she kind of down low. She kind of sneaky. Yeah.
She down low on hers. But yeah, like I said, Hulk Hogan can bite me, but at the same time, that part was messed up. That was messed up. You don't do that. Like I said, most swinger swappers, you know, they beat up, they hook up with friends, hang out, you know, drink with them and stuff, and then they do their business. But they usually keep that off the record. They usually keep that private. You know, and they're not calling for hookups either. Usually it's whenever they all agree, okay, let's get together and stuff. Like, for example, in my younger years when I experimented around, which by the way, I think most young people do that when they're sexually active. The only thing I never did, which I had no desire to do at all, nothing that has to do with gay lifestyle or anything that has to do with children. Hell and no on both of those. But yeah, I used to get invited, and sometimes I'd hang out with couples, and the dude be like, hey, my wife want to give you some tail and stuff. I was like, you down for that? I was like, well, she is kind of fine, but you sure? He was like, you sure you cool with that? She was like, he'd be like, yeah, go ahead. She wants you to hit it. I was like, okay. You know, we go and do our business and stuff. You know, we have our guy, and I get off, she get off. But yeah, we never did no taping or nothing like that.
Right.
No, we kept that between us, and I never talked about it or told names.
That would be awkward for me, like someone wanting to film me, you know, in the deed. It's just, I mean, some people, maybe that's what they do, that's what they like. I don't know about that. I don't know about filming yourself in that moment personally.
Yeah. The only way I want to be filmed really is if I'm getting paid for it. Now, if you telling me like, hey, man, you know, we heard you just got laid off. We know you like to have sex. Hey, man, we'll give you $800 to come here and I'm just thinking of a porn star randomly. Come here and bang Midori, or come here and get it on with Nina Hartley, or come in and get it on with who's that one Asian chick? Jessica Bangkok.
Jessica Bangkok. Yeah.
There you go. If they told me that, you know, then I'd be okay with it. The only thing I would be like, look, I'd be like, you serious? Like, yeah, we just need to test you right quick, make sure you ain't got no STD or nothing, but you clear that, you good to go. I'll be like, okay, one request. Just give me the bullet points, what you want to see between me and her, and just leave us alone. Just let us take care of it. Just give me the bullet points. I don't need no direction or nothing. I'm sure she don't either. Just let us go. Which, by the way, I don't want to turn it into a sex shoot or anything, but those are often the best scenes. The ones where the two have chemistry and they don't need much direction. Those are actually the best scenes. Where you can tell the two really kind of know each other. And you can tell nobody's really directed them that hard. They just letting them go at it. Those are the best scenes.
That's actually the best, I'm going to say, dance. You know, or the best, you know, teammates you have. I mean, in anything, not just, you know, in a bedroom situation, but even going to work. You know, you show up to work and that's your partner right there. You don't have to say a word to him. And he don't have to say a word to you. Y'all just go up in there, y'all get it done, and it always comes out as gold. Not a word needs to be said. You know, y'all just know, oh, he gonna handle that, I'm gonna handle this, alright? Or on the basketball court, I'm gonna throw it to him. Oh, he throwing a lob, let me speed up, get in the air. You know, non-verbal communication, nothing needs to be said. It's just natural.
Or
when you're dancing. You know, when you start stepping at a barbecue, you know, stepping, you don't have to tell no one how to step. People just know how to step, you know.
Or like, or even in wrestling, some of the greatest matches were with people that really knew each other and really knew how to quote unquote dance, like Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall when Scott Hall was Razor Ramon. They didn't need to rehearse nothing that much. They would go. Actually, Shawn had dope matches with all members of the clique. With him, Kevin Nash, Triple H, even with Sean Waltman, the few times they worked together in the ring, he would have dope matches with him too. He probably didn't need to talk to him that much, huh?
You brought up HBK. HBK can have a great match / dance with anybody. You know, you brought up the Click. Obviously, Brett comes to mind. I'm going to throw out some names, and I want you to tell me the first 2 best dances that they've had with an opponent. Austin.
Well, first, I'm not going to say The Rock, just because that's kind of a cheat code.
Right.
Outside of The Rock, Austin's best dances were with Kurt Angle.
Ooh.
Kurt Angle, and I'm going to go back to the WCW days. Bret Hart, I'm not going to pick either because Bret Hart's a cheat code too.
Yeah, that's a cheat code.
I'm going to go back to the WCW days. He used to have great matches with Ricky Steamboat. But he wasn't Stone Cold at that point. He was Stunning Steve.
That's interesting. Steamboat, definitely. That doesn't get talked about at all.
Booker T.
Booker T, I'm gonna say he had his best matches with. Now for WWE, shoot, his best matches were probably. Well, I know who his worst matches was with. His worst matches was with Batista.
Mm-hmm.
His best matches in WWE, I don't know. He had good matches in WWE, but I can't think of any great ones he really had. I have to go back to WCW actually. Huh?
Like ones that really stand out and saying, wow.
Yeah. Actually, all his great matches was in WCW. Tell you the truth. So, going with WCW, his great matches was with his 2-fall match for the TV title versus Rick Martel and Perry Saturn, in which the first match Martel came in as the champion, but Booker T beat him for the title, but whoever won had to face Perry Saturn immediately after.
Uh-huh.
So he basically had to wrestle 2 matches to win and retain the title. The other one, and I know cheat code, but I'm going to go with it. His best of 7, his original best of 7 series with Benoit.
That's the first thing that flashed in my head. Like, when I think of Booker, I think of that best of 7 series, definitely.
I just rewatched them about a year ago when I was going through Nitro episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched some of them a year ago. Each match,
I'm gonna go through all 7 of them.
even though they had some of the same moveset, they always tried to make each match a little bit different than the last one. CM Punk. Okay.
That's another
His
tough
2
one.
best dance partners. As far as WWE, John Cena. And this one, the other one I'm going to name, doesn't get talked about enough. John Morrison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I'd say the same thing. Yeah. That's a rivalry that we never really got
to fully explore. It's almost like we were cheated out of it. Punk versus Mundo, because they were the opposites of each other. You had the pretty boy, flashy dude, and Johnny Mundo, and you had that gritty kind of guy in Punk.
Yep.
So man, yeah, definitely. What about Sasha? The 2 best dance partners for Sasha.
Oh, God. Okay. So far, her 2 best dance partners, and people might be shocked. One of them you're not going to be shocked at, but the other one might be shocked at. One of them was definitely Bayley, especially NXT. I mean, they've had some pretty good matches on the main roster, but their best stuff was on NXT. And the other one, and this might shock people, Becky Lynch.
Whoa, you're putting Becky over Asuka and Charlotte?
Well, I've never seen the Asuka match, the one where she almost killed herself.
Really good. Yeah, she nearly killed herself, but it was dope. It was really, really good.
Yeah. Now the Charlotte one, I think where we saw it so many times. Now don't get me wrong. Now don't get me wrong. None of the matches that I did see, none of them sucked. In fact, I think their worst match might have been the SummerSlam match.
Oh, yeah.
Was the SummerSlam match, but even that one you can't really say sucked.
Nah, it was still good, yeah. It just wasn't as good as the other ones.
Yeah. I don't know though. It's like we've only seen her in Asuka one time, and it was that good already. I was just like, man, I need more of that right there. What about Trish? Who would you say were her two best dance partners?
Two best dance partners. A cheat code would be Lita, but I'm gonna go with two that people don't really talk about that much. Victoria, Mickie James.
Yeah, we already knew Mickie James was gonna be on there, definitely. Ric Flair, two best dance partners for Flair, because he gets shouted out a lot for carrying bums.
Oh, that's easy. His two best dance partners, that's easy. For me. Sting, Ricky Steamboat.
I'm surprised you didn't say Dusty Rhodes. Why don't we shout out Dusty?
Dusty Rhodes, he made the most money. He made the most money with Dusty Rhodes. But his better matches were with Steamboat and Sting.
AJ Styles.
Oh.
I'm gonna say
Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, Christopher, you have to say him. I know Christopher Daniels is kind of a cheat code, but you have to say him. Now in WWE, as far as a dance partner, as much as you and me both love to hate on this guy, I have to say Cena.
Definitely. Because people have cried for that match for a long time. They've always said Styles versus Cena, and we finally got it, and it definitely delivered. So, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, all time for AJ Styles, you got to say Daniels, man.
But I'm going to laugh because everybody keeps saying that this AJ versus Nakamura match is going to be so good. He's not even the top two dance partner for this man, but okay.
Although I did like what they did on SmackDown.
Finally, they got it right.
When he acted like he was going to give him the big knee, and he stopped right when he's about to do it, and he looked down and he said, knee, two, face, and then he did it like he was doing a face wash on AJ over his head. I was like, yes, that's what they need to be doing with him. Keep it simple. They know he can't talk English that good.
Yeah,
just keep it simple.
I just don't think he should have said a word though. Like, you remember when The Rock and Austin had their stuff leading up where, you know, Austin would drink a beer and he would turn around and The Rock would be there ready to rock bottom him and no word would be said.
Oh, you can make that argument.
Or when, you know, Rock would, you know, he would come off the rope from raising his arm and Stone Cold would be waiting to stun him. He would just look at it and not a word was said. I don't think Nakamura should have said a word. He could have faked the knee, gave him a face wash, like, you little boy, and then walked away. I think that would have been more powerful.
I see what you're saying. Oh, no, I see what you're saying, man.
The silence, yeah.
I see what you're saying. At the same time,
Nakamura is more, he's flamboyant and boisterous, but I don't think he should be screaming like that, man.
At the same time though, this is better than what they had been doing with him, though.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So I'm like, finally they got it right in some way, but it's just like, man, why y'all got this man out there screaming like he's Waka Flocka? It's like, dude, I expect Nakamura to have more of a Rico Suave, you know, type of thing going. Not this, I'm angry and I'm screaming, dude. It don't feel natural seeing him scream like that, you know? Like, when I see Nakamura on paper, I expect more of like a Jeff Hardy, you know, where it's more so he kind of expresses himself with his body language more so than anything. Because when he comes down to the ring, he's not cutting promos like Jericho. It's the body language when he gets in the ring. And you're like, okay, there's something special about this dude, you know? And he gets in the ring, especially you watch the old New Japan tapes where he just hit people with the boom out here. You like, bruh, this man may be crazy, but he is not to really be trifled with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't really have to say a word back then. Now they got this man screaming, and it's like I don't know about that, you know. I get why they do it, of course, you know, he wants to express himself in that way, but having him run around screaming, you know, like he's a trap rapper, I don't know about that, man. I don't know, like, how do you feel about that? Because, like you said, I don't think you said you minded him doing that. I don't know, it's just, I like the silence a little bit better leading up to a big time fight. Because they're not trash talking each other, first of all. Like, has Nakamura trash talked Styles, or has Styles trash talked him?
Not really.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if this was like a trash talk, like, you know, Tyson, I want to eat your heart, I want to eat your children, and then they screaming at each other, that's one thing, but they're coming off on each other as, oh, I respect this guy, you know, I want to make out with this guy. That's what they've been doing these last 2 weeks. And finally, Nakamura shows some manhood, and we're just jumping up and down for joy because they finally did something right, but I just think it could have been executed better without him screaming and acting like Waka Flocka, basically.
But seriously though, I was like, at least they got something right with this dude.
Yeah, we give them that. Give them an A for that.
They got something right, so I just think it could have been executed better. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, you know what? To cap off the two best dance partners, I'm gonna say something that's gonna make people cringe. Roman Reigns. Who are his two best dance partners in your opinion?
Yeah, but
I'm like, yeah, Roman doesn't have any.
But yeah. But shoot, what was it we talk about? We was talking about best dance partners.
Dance partners, yeah.
Okay. Who else? But yeah, AJ definitely. In WWE, I'd have to say John Cena. All time, you have to say Daniels. I mean, there's no way around that. It's hard to talk about Christopher Daniels without mentioning AJ Styles. Likewise, it's hard to talk about the career of AJ Styles without talking about Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, definitely. But
to segue back to Hogan, and this is where he messed out. You know, we can beat our chest about being politically correct, pro-black, cooning, etc. But at the end of the day, as Unc said earlier, at some point Hogan will come back. You know, the issue with right now is it still too soon? And Unc said, yeah, it's too soon. I agree with that. You know, but the problem with Hogan is that as of now, he hasn't added any layers or coat of paint to what the transgression was. Because if we were to Google Hogan now, the big headline would be Hulk Hogan says N-word. Because that's the latest news and scoop on this guy, you know? Hogan hasn't found a way to maneuver and make multiple power plays, you know? He's already had numerous people take up for him. You know, he made a mistake. You know, Dennis Rodman of all people, you know? I mean, we still want to kick him in the balls for what he said, but at the end of the day, you know, we're make mistakes, and it's more so about how is he trying to come back from that mistake that's defining him. What has Hogan done, positive things he's done since that moment, besides go to court and get his money from Bubba the Love Sponge? What positive things has that man done since then to kind of add a layer? He hasn't made headlines in a positive way, so the only image we have is, the last thing you showed us, So if Hogan can find a way to make headlines in a positive way, then I think that would be beneficial to him returning. Maybe invest in marijuana and have a sit down with Snoop Dogg and chop it up about how they need to legalize it. I mean, he's laid low for the years, as he should, but if he wants to garner a little bit of favor with all the fans, he needs to have positive headlines going on about him. Him doing positive things. When Philando Castile got shot, maybe, do a quick interview. You don't have to, cater or pander, but just say, hey, that's wrong what they did to that man, brother. He had his permit, brother. They shouldn't have shot him down like that, brother. And that's it. When Dylan Roof shot up the church, that was wrong what he did, brother. It's like we haven't heard anything positive come from the Hulk Hogan camp ever since that incident. You remember when Kobe Bryant got into trouble, Unc, right?
Repeat that again. That last part.
You remember when Kobe Bryant got into trouble, right? What did Kobe do? He went to court, he handled that, and then he changed the entire narrative about him. It still gets brought up as a running joke, but that's not the only final image we have of him. After that, he won 2 more championships.
Yep.
Mike Tyson's another one. Tyson went to jail for that, that stuff. Which, we can feel how we want to feel about it, but at the end of the day, the last image of him was him getting in the ring and knocking guys out and then getting himself knocked out, You have to change people's narratives about you by doing positive things with your life after, the rainfall comes, And Hogan hasn't done that yet.
Yeah.
So when he starts making moves in a positive way, then I think he can come back. Not just when he does one thing, let him do multiple things, Maybe hurricane relief or something. Maybe a hurricane hits Thailand and he goes to Thailand to help little kids over there or something. I don't know, but he needs to find a way to get in the positive spotlight where it doesn't come off as he's just pandering to black people. This is really from the heart what he wants to do, because that's the fine line he has to walk. Because if he tries too hard, then people are gonna say, "Oh, he's just pandering."
Yep. And since you mentioned Hulk Hogan, I was just thinking, who was the 2 best dance partners for Hogan?
Oh, I want to say The Rock, but no, because they only had like one
Rock,
match,
Well, they had 2 matches. They had the WrestleMania match, which everyone knows. Then they had the rematch almost a year later at No Way Out, which was good, except Rock was full-blown heel by that point. He was Hollywood Rock.
Oh, yeah, the forgotten portion of Rock's career, besides Goldberg sparing him. Yeah, definitely.
But those 2... But the 2 that I was thinking of, I was like, okay, his best dance partners were Macho Man Randy Savage, and here's one that doesn't get brought up too much, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
With Randy Savage, you could feel the animosity in the ring between the 2. It's like when Sasha and Alexa get in the ring with each other now. Maybe the match itself isn't going to be good, but deep down, these 2 kind of want to tear each other apart once they get behind the scenes.
Yep. Honorable mentions with Hogan would have to be... The Rock, of course, and Antonio Inoki from his forward raise in Japan. Best dance partners for Jeff Hardy. Let's see. As far as a solo act, here's two that don't get it. Here's one. I'm gonna mention one that people know, and I'm gonna mention one that doesn't get enough credit. One that people know is Triple H, believe it or not. Because during his run to the championship in 2008, many of those title matches before he finally won in that triple threat were against Triple H.
Mm-hmm. But this was kind of like the watered down. This wasn't Simba the Conqueror, the Lion King Triple H. This was like Hello Kitty Triple H. It was a very watered down.
Yeah, he was watered down, but he was still dangerous.
But yeah, I mean, he's still Trips, but he wasn't the same, man. Trips, he had a midlife crisis. He wants to go back to the X and do crotch chops, and it's like, Trips, come on, man. You got the handlebar mustache now. I mean, if he wanted to bring back Evolution at that point, I don't think no one would have debated it. Wear a suit, fly high and everything, but you want to go back to doing crotch chops, and I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't like that Triple H.
I'll tell you
that's
one.
Like the lowest point of his career.
I'll tell you one that doesn't get mentioned that often, but it was like one of his first big feuds when he went back to WWE in 2006 when he came back for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? Mundo. He was Johnny Nitro at that point.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I've even really looked at those matches, Hardy and Mundo. See, I was going to say, if I had to pick for Hardy, I would say CM Punk. Oh, just instantly, Punk pops in my head for Hardy. Punk and Hardy and Matt. Because those are the matches, when those matches happened, people got fired up to see them. Well, the first few matches with Matt. After those first few, all right, Jeff gonna win, because Jeff is better than Matt. It just, I don't know. When that's the first team of brothers. When you saw them go at each other, you got hyped for it. Like when Edge and Christian would go against each other, we didn't really care about it. When the Dudleys would fight each other occasionally, we didn't care. But when the Hardys fought, people got lit. People got fired up to see those matches. I wonder why that is.
Personally, I would say I think the element of Jeff carried Matt was so strong in people's minds that you could see there being some animosity.
Yep.
It's almost like HBK and Jannetty, when those two finally got into it. Or if, Kelly Rowland were to attack Beyonce right now, you could understand where the animosity came from, because Beyonce was the star. But in a group like, that's a really balanced singing group where the Temptations, if David Ruffin were to get into a fight with Eddie Kendricks, you're like, dude, you guys are both equally good, and you both carry the group in different ways, Or if the Road Warriors were to fight, you're like, man, come on, man, this ain't right, man, come on. But with the Hardys, you're like, yeah, get him, Jeff, get him. You've been carrying his ass.
Yeah.
But Randy Savage, to go to him, who are his two best dance partners in your opinion?
Ooh. Well, we already said Hulk Hogan with Randy Savage. I'm not gonna pick Savage for Hogan here. Even I know that's kind of hypocritical, but I'm gonna pick two other guys. One that and the other one you don't hear about. Dance partners. I would have to say one was Steamboat, definitely. And I'm going to talk about one that doesn't get talked about that much. This was pre-WWE. The one that doesn't get talked about, Jerry the King Lawler.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, before WWE. Him and Savage had a very vicious program down in Memphis.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 more I want to ask you about. No, we already did Hard. Let's make that 5. Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard Dog. The Junkyard Dog, the JYD. Oh, those two are pretty easy. The first one would be the Freebirds, believe it or not, because he had a very notable match against Michael Hayes after he was blinded by the Freebird cream, in which they played it up to the point where they actually showed a film of Junkyard Dog's daughter, who's unfortunately now deceased. Junkyard Dog's daughter being born, but he couldn't see her because he was blind. And they showed that on Mid-South television. Ooh, people want to kill the Freebirds. The Freebirds actually had to park every town they went to. They actually had to park at the police station.
That's messed up.
And take a ride, police escort to the arena.
That's messed up for real. See, this is the type of stuff that people don't talk about. Like, man, if something like that were to happen now,
I mean, Junkyard Dog was that beloved. I mean, obviously by the African American audience, right, but even a lot of white people loved the Junkyard Dog. And when they showed that, and played up that scene, everybody, because anybody, I don't care what race you are, anybody that's had kids could feel that. Not seeing your kid for the first time because you're temporarily blinded by some a-holes. Oh yeah, anybody that has kids could feel that.
You could take Enzo. You know, I hate Enzo. But if you give him a storyline like that, I would cheer for him. Because like you said, anyone could easily connect to that. So yeah, it's easy for a guy to become beloved or the top maybe. If Roman Reigns had a storyline like that, no one's going to boo him.
Or like the part in the feud with Bray Wyatt that they later backed down off of because we don't want to offend the PG rating or anything. But I thought that was their best idea. Remember when they made like Bray Wyatt was kind of threatening his little girl? Some people actually started cheering for Roman after that because, like I said, anybody who has kids can feel that. What? Oh yeah, they would have cheered if they would have kept on that track and had him like threaten his family and stuff. Oh, Bray Wyatt wouldn't have got cheered at all.
Definitely. So that's the thing where it's like the segue into that where it's like they don't have storylines that make you connect with the characters no more. Because you just brought up that point with the Freebirds and Junkyard. This is the first time I've heard that story, and I'm just like, whoa! I'm like, that's deep right there, man.
Yeah, and they actually had a cage match between Michael Hayes of the Freebirds and the Junkyard Dog, where Dog was only like maybe 50% sighted. Well, they played it up that way, where he was only 50% sighted against Michael Hayes. Oh, and Hayes played up the heel and that to the point where they had to have security around ringside. Seriously. Because they were scared fans was going to run to the ring and try to kill Hayes.
Wow, that's wild. You
know, the other one with Junkyard Dog, now that you mentioned that, the other one is the one that I sent matches to you on. Butch Reed.
Oh, yeah. On paper, do you think the Junkyard Dog versus the $1 Million Man would have been good to see?
Yeah, if they'd have done it right,
you
yeah.
Virgil sitting in the back corner, and you got Junkyard Dog. I'm just saying, there's so many layers to that story with Junkyard Dog versus the $1 Million Man if it were to have happened.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it couldn't happen in this era. People would get real uncomfortable real quick. You got Ted DiBiase basically trying to buy the Junkyard Dog, and the Junkyard Dog saying, "I'm not for sale." And then he got, Virgil right next to him, which has so many. It's almost like, man, I would love to see that storyline play out. Everyone's got a price. Who says that when you have another grown, big black man standing over you and you in your drawers by a swimming pool? Come on, Ted DiBiase, that was suspect. But Rey Mysterio's two best dance partners in your opinion?
Oh, the first one automatically Eddie Guerrero. Easily. Now others you could probably name. You could probably say other cruiserweights like Matt Hardy or the Hurricane or other Mexican wrestlers like Juventud Guerrero. Some might even say Chris Jericho. But after Eddie Guerrero, I'm gonna put in the other one would be Kurt Angle.
That's who I was gonna say. Yep.
The other one would be Kurt Angle with an honorable mention.
Kurt Angle's a walking cheat code.
Yeah, yeah.
He is.
With an honorable mention going to Ricochet, aka Prince Puma.
Oh, because of that, yeah, that dope match they had. Yes. Undertaker's top two dance partners. Now this is a tough one.
Ooh, Undertaker. Okay, Undertaker. If I was gonna go with two good dance partners, you know what? No, because that's a cheat code. I was gonna say Shawn,
we're not
but
gonna say Shawn.
that's a cheat code.
Yeah.
Okay, outside of Shawn Michaels, first one would have to be Kane, Glenn Jacobs. The second one is one that doesn't get talked about that much, but he had some really good matches with him. Bret Hart.
See, I was gonna go with either The Rock or Austin for my second choice, because one of my favorite matches is the Highway to Hell against him and Austin, where Taker basically broke his foot when he did that leg drop off the top rope in the announce table. That one, or even his matches with The Rock. His matches with The Rock were amazing. So I'm torn between those two. I want to say Mick Foley, but Mick Foley's like, I don't know if you could call that a match.
No, that was a glorified. Now go ahead and use a little language here. That was a glorified ass whooping.
That's what it was, basically. I had to go with
that was just basically how bad can the Undertaker beat up Mick Foley.
Maybe I'll pick Rocky over Austin. Just because with Austin, I just had that one match in my head, but with The Rock, I have multiple matches he's had with The Rock. So yeah, give me Rocky and Kane. Randy Orton, top two dance partners.
Okay, the first one I am not going to say is John Cena. Screw that feud. Screw that feud. There's maybe one or two good matches in that whole thing. No, I'm not going to say Cena. Randy Orton, I'd say top two dance partners. First one was the one that put him on. No, I'm not going to say Foley either because they only had one match really. So I'm going to go with Edge.
Oh, we match on that one. I got Edge too.
Yeah, Edge. And believe it or not, I'm going to go with, even though he's had some other good matches with other people, I'm going to go with Chris Benoit. Not just because of the world title, but they actually had some pretty good matches even after that.
My second pick was Shelton Benjamin. Orton and Shelton Benjamin. I chose Edge and Shelton Benjamin for my two for him. Been a while, yeah. That match, man. I just the SummerSlam match when he won that title for the first time. It was good. It was definitely good. Sting. Top two dance partners for Sting.
Well, earlier I said Ric Flair with Sting and Steamboat, so I'm going to say Sting, you got to say Ric Flair. Right. Ain't no way around that, because without Flair, you don't really have Sting. Now, it's easy for somebody to say Hogan, but really, can we say their matches were that good? The story around them was. The moments around them was, but the matches themselves were not that good. Huh?
I'm just going to say Kurt Angle with Sting, because it's like, besides Flair,
Flair, I would have to say Flair and Vader.
Vader's an interesting pick.
Flair and Vader. He not only had good stories with both of them, he had good stories and great matches with them. See, people might say Hulk Hogan, but the problem with saying Hogan, I said no. His stories with Hogan was good, but the matches themselves were garbage. Most of them. I think they only had one out of all their matches together. They only had one good match, really. Super Brawl 8 in 1998. That was the only great match they had.
Will people ever look back on that Joker Sting era in TNA and actually like it?
Oh, God. The first time he did it, it was actually kind of cool. But they just ran into the ground after that.
Yeah. Definitely. Alright, well, Daniel Bryan coming back. I know you spoke about this in the vid. How do you feel about Daniel Bryan coming back now, finally? Finally, they're letting him
As a
come
fan,
back.
I was happy. But at the same time, I was a little concerned, and I was a little suspect about why all of a sudden WWE's now letting them back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, for WWE's end, it's because it's near WrestleMania. It's in New Orleans where Daniel Bryan won the world title. And the fact that basically they have no interest in this card. In fact, right now, there is almost no buzz for WrestleMania. Only because of the name is it getting any attention at all. Because the card itself, there is not, well, except for the Daniel Bryan thing. And I'm kind of interested in Roman and Brock. Only because I want to see how bad the ass whipping is going to be. To see Roman. See, and people think I'm kidding. And Prince brought this up too. Roman is most likely going to win the match. He's most likely going to be the new Universal Champion. But the ass whipping that he will take prior to that pinfall, ooh, he's gonna be singing. He's gonna be in an octave so high, you're gonna think it's The Weeknd getting his butt kicked, because he's gonna be singing, "Who gonna pray for me? Take my pain from me. Save my soul, you see. Cause I'm alone, you see." Yeah, he's gonna be singing "Pray for Me" from the Black Panther. He's gonna get a whooping so bad.
He did well too, man. Like, no one's gonna feel sorry for Roman. Did you see when he went on that radio show and tried to do that interview?
Oh yeah.
Apologize to Brock.
Yeah, now the TV stuff, I would have just brushed it off as angle, But then you told me about the radio interview. Then you told me about the radio interview. I was like, he really said that? I was like, Brock might destroy this dude.
Roman is a retard. retard for that. I know people say it's bad to call people retard. No, you're a retard for saying that, Roman Reigns. You went on Hot 97, and man, I wish everyone could have seen the live stream of that interview. I really do, because they changed the camera angles when they took it, they polished it up. When they were like, yeah, so Roman, you got to fight Brock Lesnar. Well, what do you do when you get in the ring with a guy like that, man? And you did kind of call him the B word in the middle of the ring. And, I mean, Braun Strowman's basically 5 times the size of you. Brock hit him 1, 2 times, and he could barely walk. What are you going to do if Brock you did call him the B word, if Brock just snaps and just starts beating the crap out of you, what are you going to do? Well, he gave me a 2-piece. I'm going to throw 3 back. If they would have showed the camera of everyone in that studio looking at this man, like, you know when Pookie from New Jack shows up?
Yeah.
You be walking down the street, hey, you got $1 earned? That's how they looked at him. They looked at Roman like he was a crackhead for saying that stuff. But at that moment, Roman, that's when you said, oh, it was just a work, man, you know. You blame it on Vince. I would blame it on Vince if I was Roman. I would put it all on Vince. You know, well, we were gorilla and Vince told me this. I would lie. I would lie. Did you not see what this man, Frank Mir doesn't even know what his middle name is anymore, man. Brock beat the man that bad, man. And he gave me a 2-piece. I'm going to throw 3 back. He looked at this man. I was like, I can't wait to show Unc this. And then when they re-aired it, they edited that part out where the whole station crew looked at this man like he was on crack for saying that. And then Ebro, shout out to Ebro for that, man, because Ebro was the one, he was growling and Roman was getting mad. Oh, why you gotta keep bringing that up, man? You just keep making him mad, huh? No, Roman,
yeah, man.
You said it, Roman. Man, I hope Brock beat him up. I really do. And I'm a Roman Reigns fan. But you gonna go in the ring, you gonna call the man out of his name, and then when he pull up, you wanna, oh, I'm sorry, Brock. And he in the radio, but Brock's a good guy. He's a really good guy. I hope Brock beat him down. I really do. I'm a Roman Reigns fan, but he needs to get beat down for that, man. He does. I can't ride for that. You gonna call the man out his name, and then when they question you about it, now you scared. I just, man, I don't know. What do you do in that situation, You accidentally call Brock Lesnar out of his name. You do a radio interview.
I'll say this. If you're going to call Brock Lesnar out of his name, you better be either high, you better be either crazy, or you better be ready to fight and possibly take a good old-fashioned booty whooping, or you better have the power of Charles Xavier, can put yourself into someone else's body and take the body of Bobby Lashley or something.
What can Roman do? Let's say he spears Brock Lesnar. Real life, he spears Brock Lesnar. Lesnar would take that man down and break his arm. Did we not see how come on, man. Why would you do that, man? And we brought up this point about Cena and Roman in the past, about how they're basically allowed to curse and swear just to get promos over, right? But no one else is. Well, this is where it backfired, Roman. You should have stayed PG. You were cool up to that point, man. You gonna call the man the B word, and then I told you what happened. After he cut that, Brock Lesnar was probably out, doing an underground cage fight, taking people manhood, and then he went in the woods and he was hunting and everything. He come back, Sable, hey baby, here's your, meat and potatoes. Oh, and Roman Reigns called you the B word. What? You're on the phone? Yeah, Brock. Sorry, Mr. Lesnar. No, it's Brock. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, what is it? Where that man Roman at? Tell him I'm gonna kill him when I see him. But Brock, Brock, he's my guy. You know, I invested. No, he done. He done. What he say, Vince? He said he gonna kill you. I think you should stay in the house for now. I think you need Secret Service protection. Look, you throw 2 at me, I'm gonna throw 3 back. Bro, Brock, we admire your courage, you know, but let's look at how that worked for Frank Mir. Now let's look at how that worked for this other dude. And the other dude before that. Well, you know, John Cena said never give up and be a star. And you gonna be a star that day. And you definitely gonna be seeing them when he get through with you. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen a little kid wrestle like a toy? Like they got the stuffed animal Ninja Turtles and everything, and they just be drop kicking them and throwing them around the room.
Yep.
That's what Brock's gonna do to Roman.
like I said, they're gonna be playing Kendrick Lamar and the weekend. Pray for me. That should be Roman. That should be Roman's theme song going to the ring instead of the da 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 da. Instead of that, they should play Kendrick Lamar weekend. Pray for me, because that might be the song.
Man, he need Kirk Franklin in his corner, man. Like, what is that man gonna do, man? I mean, we saw he split Randy Orton's head smooth open. You didn't see, you know, usually when people shoot on each other and they start beating the crap out of each other for real, someone from backstage comes out to calm them down to a degree. No one got up on Brock. Orton sitting there, head split open, half dead. No one did a thing, man. Lesnar walked backstage. Jericho was the only person.
Yeah, the first time they could use the excuse, well, Roman was handcuffed. And then the following week, you might have heard the message I left for y'all. I was like, what's their excuse this week? He wasn't handcuffed this week. And still got destroyed.
We should give Roman 2 extra arms. And even then, it wouldn't be fair. You know, Roman Reigns can clone himself. He could have 4 different clones try to jump Brock. It still won't make a difference.
Yeah, you know what would be hilarious?
D-Day gets slaughtered. That's what Roman Reigns is walking into. It's like the opening scene of Private Ryan before they storm the beach and basically get shot to pieces. That's Roman Reigns in Gorilla before that match. He kissing his cross and his dog tags, calling his mama. Mama. Bro, what is this man gonna do? Let's just say Brock Lesnar just had a bad day. You know, Roman Reigns better send Sable a check. Can you please get that man some real good loving so he just completely forgets about me? Because what do? You could try to, you know, slip something in his food and sedate him before.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And for Brock coming down to the ring instead of the you can mix it. Like right before you play the dun 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 dun, you play the theme of dun 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 dun. I'm trying to And for those of you that don't know what that is, that's actually the little jingle theme for Killmonger from the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're Roman, I would just get counted out. I would just roll out the ring and run. They ring the bell. I'm out that ring and I am running, and no one can fault me for it. They can clown me for it. I'm like, no. He going back to USC. I ain't trying to. I don't want the problems, man.
Well, what if Brock did this? Brock, as soon as he got in the ring, I would want Brock to just like stare at Roman Reigns, back up a bit, and just basically kick Roman let the bell ring. He kicks Roman straight in the nuts, hits him with the championship belt, suplex him a couple of times, Give the F5. The ref has already disqualified him. The winner is Roman Reigns. He takes the belt, lays it on Roman's prone body, and leaves. That won't happen, but that would be hilarious.
It would. But that's Roman getting off a little bit easy for what he said. I mean, at the end of the day, we could conjure up what would really happen, you know, to Roman in the dark alley against Lesnar. I mean, Brock's going to go there. He's going to do business. He's going to get his money. But just imagine it. You call Brock Lesnar that. You could have called him any other thing. You could have called him lazy. You could have said he's a coward. But you called him that. That justifies a beatdown, in my opinion.
I wonder if even his Samoan family was calling him up like, Roman, what was that?
Here's the thing. Brock Lesnar has successfully whipped his entire family. He's whipped Rikishi. He's whipped The Rock. He's beat both the Usos at the same time. He's whipped Roman. He's the only person who's beat down the entire Samoan dynasty by himself with no backup. So you can't call Goon Squad on him. It's not going to make a difference. I'm just saying. I mean, what do you want Roman to do? What the hell? Like, nah, you on your own, man. You kind of brought this one on yourself, man.
Yeah, he lifted Rikishi like he was nothing into the F5. He F5'd The Rock and won the WWE World Championship. Like you said,
the Usos. It's like, what do you want the man to do, Roman? Why would you say that, Roman?
Yeah, and you don't have your bros around anymore because, unfortunately, they're deceased. Rosie and Umaga.
He whooped them too. Umaga, I'm not sure about, but he whooped Rosie, definitely. We was beating on the Hurricane and Rosie tried to call Google Squad. Look. Brock Lesnar is so strong, and it's funny watching him beat up people. I shouldn't say that because, you know, anti-bullying campaign, but Lesnar is the funniest bully of all time. Watching him just beat up people, it's funny. It's entertaining. It's almost like watching a Tyson fight. You know Tyson's going to knock the guy out, but, you know, the beating leading up to the knockout is very entertaining to watch. It's like watching Bruce Lee movies. Of course Bruce Lee's going to win, but watching him beat them up is still fun.
Yep. Oh yes.
Oh man. Man. Roman, you take an L. You give me 2, I'm gonna throw 3 back. Oh my God, I wish they wouldn't have edited that out. The way that entire studio turned around and looked at that man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only interesting thing besides Daniel Bryan returning. Everything else, I'm like, man,